Too small. Too small.
Saturday night. Remember, make sure you turn up, bro.
Yeah. Always turn up.
Make sure. Bring it.
Make sure.
We starve him out, but we want to smash him to pieces. And I can't wait for him to get hold of it. Yeah? I can't wait for him to terrorise him. We might...
Very disappointing, of course, Umar, and I think I've just been piecing it together today.
Chris Eubank Jr. ignites war of words. Conor Benn branded a pretender in fiery verbal assault. Chris Eubank Jr. has once again set the boxing world ablaze, launching a ruthless verbal assault on Conor Benn that sent shockwaves through British boxing. In a blistering tirade, Eubank called Benn a coward who only fights when the odds tilt in his favor. With cold precision, he branded him
since your loss? What happened since your loss?
Him a cowering mutt with a paper record, accusing Benn of padding his resume with easy opponents and dodging real challenges. Brutal as it was, Eubank's message carried conviction and psychological intent. He declared Benn would crumble when faced with real fire. It wasn't just trash talk, it was mind games. And judging by Benn...
I'm just ready to fight now. It's just, let's get it on. Let's get it on now. I want to entertain the people. I want to entertain...
Shaky response, those mind games hit home. Benn tried to sound defiant, promising to fight anywhere, anytime. But his tone betrayed nerves. His voice faltered. His confidence felt forced, and his constant excuses about weight and venue sounded more like desperation than strategy. Eubank had already taken up residence inside his head.
Because he's not the oldest, but time within the sport, potentially. He's been around for a very long time. He's had a lot of fights. I think he's close. He's either at or is close to having 40-odd fights. Some of those have been rough wars. Some of those have been pretty good back and forths. Like, he doesn't shy.
Every interview, every quote from Benn screamed anxiety, not belief. The man who once spoke of vengeance now seemed to be convincing himself he was still fearless. Then came the voices of experience. Johnny Nelson, the former world champion turned pundit, stepped in to clarify what's really happening. Eubank's not ducking anyone, he declared. He's chasing challenges, not hiding from them.
We frame bombs and somebody will go. It's going to be a great fight. All or nothing. It's on the line. The winner will get Usyk. That's what they're fighting.
That's what separates the elite from the pretenders. Hunger, focus, mentality. Chris has all three. Nelson emphasized that Eubank's mindset has always defined him. A man who's faced setbacks, taken losses, and returned sharper every time. For him, this fight isn't about settling grudges, it's about proving he still belongs.
Speak for the casual fans. Do we condone it? I mean, in boxing terms, should that happen at a head-to-head? Of course not, but these things do happen. This is the fight business, and it's just made it even bigger, and we wait.
Belongs among boxing's elite. Eddie Hearn, Benn's own promoter, didn't sugarcoat things either. Known for his blunt honesty, Hearn admitted, Conor lets emotion take over, and that's exactly where Eubank will beat him. He broke it down clinically. This isn't skill versus skill anymore. It's mindset.
Something I didn't do or I had no part in doing. But I actually reached for the mic and I was ready to fucking lash out around his head, but he got lucky that time because, yeah, I reached for the wrong item. And I grew up in my childhood, in my summers, in Brooklyn, downtown Brooklyn, J Street. You can find it, Flatbush Avenue. Like, I know my ways around. I used to walk the streets as a kid in Brooklyn. Like, it's not, but I'm not saying that to be like,
versus meltdown. Hearn explained that Benn's wild, emotional style might win fans, but not fights against calculated operators like Eubank. Power's not enough when punches come tactical. He said, Eubank's timing, jab, and uppercut will punish those reckless rushes. It was a surgical assessment.
Back and forth, poking each other, but not, not too far. But once you get physical and you touch a man's face.
And true. Eubank isn't just powerful, he's patient and precise. That combination makes him dangerous. As Hearn put it, you can't out-brawl a man who refuses to lose control. Carl Frampton echoed those thoughts, saying Eubank looks sharper and hungrier than ever. If he brings the same composure from their first fight, Frampton warned Benn might not hear the final bell. Frampton also dismantled Benn's recurring weight excuse. Eubank has options Benn doesn't, he explained. Moving up to 160 exposed Benn's limits. But Eubanks proved he belongs among the best. For Frampton, this isn't about revenge. It's validation.
He went off on one, didn't he? But like I say, you can put all that to one side because he's a celebrity.
And celebrities say things all the time that they don't necessarily mean.
Eubank's last performance showed he's reborn with purpose. While Ben, still haunted by scandal and excuses, hasn't evolved. Hearn doubled down. Ben's fighting with emotion, not IQ, and that can't beat ring intelligence. Eubank's composure, timing, and ability to punish mistakes make him a nightmare opponent. Adam Smith, the veteran Sky Sports analyst, placed the fight in a broader context. This rematch could redefine Eubank's career. He said, "A dominant win won't just silence critics. It could reopen the door to a world title run." Smith praised Eubank's transformation, disciplined, calm, and laser-focused, describing it as the evolution.
What's this diss track you made?
Bro, what the fuck? I've never been more confused in my life. If I did make it, I'd stand on it and go, yeah, I told you to get fucked in the track or whatever I said, but bro.
Of a fighter who's finally found balance. As for Ben, Smith was blunt. He's still stuck in the past, using weight excuses as a shield for insecurity. Eubank has evolved. Ben hasn't. If Eubank wins impressively, Smith added, 2026 could be his redemption year, the chapter that brings his story full circle. Tony Bellew, never afraid of honesty, offered a rare middle ground. Time might favor Ben, he mused, but don't mistake youth for control. Bellew believes Eubank's maturity is his biggest weapon. He thrives under pressure. He's been written off and still comes back sharper. That's not decline. That's evolution. He pointed out that Eubank now trains smarter, lives cleaner, and studies opponents with surgical precision.
And Joe Parker, this is the right time for him. It doesn't mean he's going to win, but I'll tell you what, he'll never get a better chance because mentally, physically, I think even spiritually, like you can see how happy he is in his preparation and in life at the moment, that this just might be the right time for him to become a two-time world heavyweight champion.
Ben might be younger, but Eubank's mind operates miles ahead. Finally, Tony Jeff, another respected boxing voice, summed up what everyone's feeling. This fight has everything: pride, pressure, danger, and legacy. For Eubank, it's about rewriting history. For Ben, it's about survival. Every pundit agrees. Eubank Jr. has turned doubt into discipline, setbacks into strength. He's not fighting just to win. He's fighting to remind the world who he is. And when the bell rings on September 20th, one truth will be revealed. Whether Conor Ben's fire can survive Chris Eubank Jr.
The best if it did happen, but as you know, boxing, there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that we don't really know of, or that we don't really hear of, and there's things always being lined up, but I'm not too sure that'll happen.
Control. Because in boxing, power fades, but composure conquers. Eubank versus Ben 2, a rivalry fueled by pride, pressure, and pure chaos. Danger, pressure, legacy. For Chris Eubank Jr., this rematch isn't just another fight, it's a chance to rewrite history. For Conor Ben, it's survival. Tony Jeff, respected voice and former fighter, sees the difference in one word: control. Eubank's calm, measured, confident, forged through real battles. Jeff said, Ben's fighting himself as much as Eubank. The public doubt, the scandal, the chaos, they hang over him like a storm cloud. Jeff called the matchup career-defining, and he's not exaggerating. When emotion meets precision, only one man leaves vindicated. Then Dave Allen shone a light on a crucial but overlooked factor: the rehydration clause. It changes everything. Allen explained, Eubank's cutting serious weight.
Well, I mean, I can't speak on their behalf. All I know is that, you know, they were obviously, it seems there's been
testing limits Ben's never faced, but he's not complaining. That's what separates real fighters from pretenders. Champions adapt, they don't whine. For Allen, Eubank's willingness to accept every hurdle shows his commitment. He's sacrificing comfort to prove a point, Allen added. Ben keeps crying foul, but Eubank's walking into the lion's den without flinching. If Ben thinks a few pounds will save him, he's mistaken. He's up against a man on a mission, one who's mentally unbreakable. Tony Bellew returned with a fiery reminder: this isn't just boxing, it's bad blood. This is generational. Bellew said, raw, deeply personal. The rivalry runs through decades of family pride and unresolved legacy. But unlike Ben, still rebuilding his image after controversy, Eubank has carved his focus into steel. This is desperate.
It was really disappointing. For me, I was looking at it as a fan, really. I've known Conor since he was...
Versus discipline. Bellew warned. That's what we're really watching. Ben's emotions could make him reckless. Eubank, however, thrives in chaos. Every jab, every stare down, every word feels deliberate. He's not reacting. He's dismantling Ben piece by piece, One wrong move from Ben and it won't just be a fight lost, it'll be credibility gone. Trainer Kevin Boyk, who's seen champions rise and fall, didn't mince words either. Conor Ben's already lost this mentally. Boyk declared, he believes Eubank is dominating every psychological exchange, from press conferences to interviews. Chris is in total control. His camp smells blood. According to Boyk, Ben's first defeat humbled him, but this rematch could break him. This isn't arrogant.
Everybody's weight situation and weight making situation is unique to them. There's weight classes for a reason. I know some people are going to too extreme lengths. I don't know. I can't comment on it. I wish him to be safe and well, like I wish every fighter. But
from Eubank, he added, "It's composure born of experience. He's not rattled by Ben's noise. He's dissecting it. Every taunt, every forced burst of confidence becomes fuel. Eubank is focused on execution. Ben is trapped in emotion, and when heart meets composure, composure wins." Veteran analyst Duke McKenzie offered the final word. Eubank versus Ben isn't just a fight, it's a spectacle. He said, "The first clash gave fans everything: bad blood, tension, legacy, redemption. That's why the public can't look away. But this time," McKenzie warned, "the stakes are higher. Ben's backpedaling on weight. Eubank's sharper than ever, and the narrative has shifted. If Chris performs the way he did before, calm, calculated, relentless, he won't just win. He'll cement himself as one of Britain's biggest box office attractions." McKenzie summed it up perfectly. People tune in not just for punches, but
Actually, he relies on his power far too much. He hasn't brought enough to his game right now, and I thought he would have kicked on from that. If he's going to have any chance against Joseph Parker, then he can't just rely on that big right hand. Joseph Parker's a seasoned, well-schooled athlete.
Who hits hard.
Yeah, who hits hard. He's on a resurgence in terms of his confidence and where he is in boxing now, Parker. So it's a good
for drama. And right now, Eubank owns the story. Ben's only reacting to it. Bellew's critique captured the paradox of Eubank Jr. Critics always question his boxing IQ, he said, but time and again, he silences them with action, not talk. He's not textbook, but what he lacks in classic form, he makes up for in grit and adaptability. That's the Eubank formula: unorthodox, relentless, unbreakable. What some call flaws, fans call style. Bellew's words may sound critical, but they underline what makes Eubank dangerous. He's not chasing perfection, Bellew concluded. He's chasing victory, and that's the truth. Every time he's doubted, Eubank grows stronger. Every time he's written off, he writes his own comeback. If Ben still believes this version of Eubank can't box, he's in for a brutal awakening. Once those crisp combinations start landing, this rematch stops being a grudge match. It becomes a crossroads. Pride, redemption, and legacy collide under the lights. Chris Eubank Jr. walks in with the mental edge, battle-tested, disciplined, and laser-focused on finishing what he started. Conor Ben enters burdened by ghosts, scandal, pressure, and self-doubt. If Eubank wins, he reclaims his narrative and sets up another world title run. If Ben somehow pulls off the upset, he shocks the boxing world and resurrects his reputation overnight.